Sunset high and I'm by your side. Blood rush in the haze glow. My hands to the bones. No stop.
As the priest, with the help of Zadok, a descendant of Eleazar, and Ahimelech, a descendant of Ithamar, David separated them into divisions for their appointed order of ministering. A larger number of leaders were found among Eleazar's descendants than among Ithamar's. They were divided accordingly: 16 heads of families from Eleazar's descendants, and 8 heads of families from Itamar's descendants. They divided them impartially by casting lots, for there were officials of the sanctuary and officials of God among the descendants of both Eleazar and Ithamar. The scribe Shemiah and Nathaniel the Levite recorded in their names in the presence of the king and of the officials, Zadok the priest, Ahimelech son of Abithiar, and the heads of families of the priests and of the Levites, one family being taken from Eleazar and then one from Ithamar. The first lot fell to Jehoriab, the second to Jediah, the third to Harim, the fourth to Sharim, the fifth to Makajibah, the sixth to Mijamin, the seventh to Hakaz, the eighth to Abijah, the ninth to Jeshua, the 10th to Shechaniah, the 11th to Eliashib, the 12th to Joachim, the 13th to Huppah, the 14th to Jesabib, the 15th to Bilgah, the 16th to Immer, the 17th to Hezer, the 18th to Hebenez, the 19th to Bethleah, the 20th to Jehizkiel, the 21st to Jakin, the 22nd to Gamul, the 23rd to Delilah, and the 24th to Maziah. This is their appointed order of ministering when they entered the temple of the Lord, according to the regulations prescribed for them by their ancestor Aaron, as the Lord, the God of Israel, had commanded him. The rest of the Levites. As for the descendants of Levi from the sons of Amram, Shubael from the sons of Shubael, Jediah. As for Raviah, for his sons Isaiah, Ishiah was the first from the Israelites, Shiliemoth from the sons of Shiliemoth, the Jahath from the sons of Hebron, Jeriah the first, Amariah the second, Jeziel the third, and Jechmim the fourth, the son of Uziel, Micah from the sons of Micah, Shamir the brother of Micah, Ishaiah from the sons of Ishaiah, Zechariah the sons of Merari, Mali and Mushi the sons of Ziah, the Beno, the sons of Merari from Jaziah, Beno, Shoham, Zakur, and Ebri from Mali, Eleazar who had no sons, from Kish the son of Kish, Jeremiel from the sons of Mushi, Mali, Eder, and Jeremoth. These were the Levites according to their families. They also cast lots, just as their relatives, the descendants of Aaron, did, in the presence of King David and of Zadok, Ahimelech, and the heads of families of the priests and of the Levites. The families of the oldest brother were treated the same as those of the youngest. The musicians, chapter 25. David, together with the commanders of the army, set apart some of the sons of Asaph, Heman, and Jeduthun, for the ministry of prophesying, according by harps, lyres, and cymbals. Here is the list of the men who performed this service from the sons of Asaph: Zakur, Joseph, Nethaniah, and Sariela. The sons of Asaph were under the supervision of Asaph, who prophesied under the king's supervision. As for Jeduthun, for his sons Gileadiah, Zeri, Jethiah, Shimei, Abishaliah, and Matthiah, 6 in all, under the supervision of their father Jeduthun, who prophesied under the harp in thanking and praising of the Lord. As for Heman, from his sons Buka, Mathaniah, Uziel, Shuboel, and Jerimoth, Haniath, Hani, Eliathah, Gidi, Ramani, Ezer, Josh, Bekathosh, Malali, Hothir, and Mahazioth. All these were sons of Heman the king's seer. They were given him through the promises of God to exalt him. God gave Heman 14 sons and 3 daughters. All these men were under the supervision of their father for the music of the temple of the Lord, with cymbals, lyres, and harps, for the ministry at the house of God. Asaph, Jeduthun, and Heman were under the supervision of the king, along with their relatives, all of them trained and skilled in music for the Lord. They numbered 288, young and old alike, teacher as well as student, cast lots for their duties. The first lot, which was for Asaph, fell to Joseph, his sons and relatives, 12. The second, Gedaliah, him and his relatives, and his sons, 12. The third to Zakir, his sons and relatives, 12. The fourth to Isri, his sons and relatives, 12. The fifth to Neathiah, his sons and relatives, 12. The sixth to Bukiah, his sons and relatives, 12. The seventh to Jesariah, his sons and relatives, 12. The eighth to Jesahiah, his sons and relatives, 12. The ninth to Mattaniah, his sons and relatives, 12. The 10th to Shimei, his sons and relatives, 12. The 11th to Azrael, his sons and relatives 12. The 12th to Hashabiah, his sons and relatives 12. The 13th to Shubael, his sons and relatives 12. The 14th to Mathaniah, his sons and relatives 12. The 15th to Jeremoth, his sons and relatives 12. The 16th to Hananiah, his sons and relatives 12. The 17th to Josh Bekashah, his sons and relatives 12. The 18th to Hanani, his sons and relatives 12. The 19th to Malthi, his sons and relatives 12. The 20th to Eliathoth, his sons and relatives 12. The 21st to Hothir, his sons and relatives 12. The 22nd to Gedalti, his sons and relatives 12. The 23rd to Mahazoioth, his sons and relatives 12. The 24th to Romantizer, his sons and relatives 12. The gatekeepers, chapter 26, the divisions of the gatekeepers. From the Korathites, Meshemaliah, son of Kori, one of the sons of Asaph. Meshemaliah had sons: Zechariah the firstborn, Jediel the second, Zebediah the third, Jathniel the fourth, Elam the fifth, Jehohanan the sixth, and Eliehoenai the seventh. Obed-Edom also had sons: Shemaiah the firstborn, Jehozabad the second, Joah the third, Sakar the fourth, Nathanael the fifth, Amiel the sixth, Issachar the seventh, and Peluiathai the eighth. For God has blessed Obed-Edom. Obed-Edom's sons were Shemaiah, also had sons who were leaders in their father's family because they were very capable men. The sons of Shemaiah, Othni, Raphael, Obed, and Elzabad. His relatives Elihu and Semachiah were also able men. All these were descendants of Obed-Edom. They and their sons and their relatives were capable men with the strength to do the work. Descendants of Obed-Edom, 62 in all. Meshemaliah had sons and relatives who were able men, 18 in all. Hoshea the Merarite had son Shimri the first. Although he was not appointed the first one, his father has appointed him the first. Hilkiah the second, Tabaliah the third, and Zechariah the fourth. The sons and relatives of Hoshea were 13 in all. These were the divisions of the gatekeepers through their leaders, had duties for ministering in the temple of the Lord, just as their relatives had. Lots were cast for each gate according to their families, young and old alike. The lot for the east gate fell to Shemaiah. Then lots were cast for his son Zechariah, wise counselor, and the lot for the north gate fell to him. The lot for the south gate fell to Obed-Edom, and the lot for the storehouse fell to his sons. The lots for the west gate into the Shavaketh gate on the upper road fell to Shubim and Hosa. Guard was alongside of guard. There were 6 Levites a day on the east, 4 a day on the north, 4 a day on the south, and 2 at a time at the storehouse. As for the court, to the west there were 4 at the road and 2 at the court itself. These were the divisions of the gatekeepers who were descendants of Korah, and Merari. The treasurers and other officials that are fellow Levites were in charge of the treasuries of the house of God and the treasuries for the dedicated things. The descendants of Laden, who were Gershonites through Laden and who were heads of families belonging to Laden. The Gershonites were Jehaleli, sons of Jehaleli, Jetham and his brother Joel. They were in charge of the treasuries of the temple of the Lord. From the Amramites, the Izharites, the Hebronites, and the Uzhelates, Shubael, a descendant of Gershom, son of Moses, was the official in charge of the treasuries. His relatives through Eliezer, Rehabiah his son, Jeshiah his son, Joram his son, Zikri his son, and Shelemith his son. Shelemith and his relatives were in charge of all the treasuries for the things dedicated by King David by the heads of the families who were the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds, and by the other army commanders. Some of the plunder taken in battle they dedicated for the repair of the temple of the Lord, and everything dedicated by Samuel the seer, and by Saul son of Kish, Abner son of Ner, and Joab son of Zariah. And all the other dedicated things were in the care of Shelemith and his relatives. From the Israelites, Kenaiah and his sons were assigned duties away from the temple as officials and judges over Israel. The Hebronites, Hasabiah and his relatives, 1,700 able men, were responsible in Israel west of the Jordan for all the work of the Lord and for the king's service. As for the Hebronites, Jeriah was their chief according to the genealogical records of their families. In the 40th year of David's reign, a search was made in the records, and capable men among the Hebronites were found at Jezer in Gilead. Jeriah had 2,700 relatives who were able men and heads of families, and King David put them in charge of the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh for every matter pertaining to God and for the affairs of the king. Army divisions, chapter 27. This is the list of the Israelites, heads of families, commanders of thousands, and commanders of hundreds, and their officers who served the king, and all that concerned the army divisions that were on duty month by month throughout the year. Each division consisted of 24,000 men. And the first of the division for the first month was Jashobim,